Welcome to Advanced Topics in Oil Color. The colors on the palette are going to be listed from the top left to the bottom right. These are all oil painting colors. We are using the prima technique to create this oil painting. That is, we're painting wet on wet. So we will begin and finish this painting all in one layer. What makes this advanced is that we are going to assume a familiarity with working with the prima technique with oil painting. We will also assume drawing with shapes and basic light and shadow. However, if you find that you feel you are still in your beginner stages in oil painting, then consider this to be a video to show you what to work on in the future, what you want to build towards. Now consider we are assuming prima technique, drawing, values, pretty much all of the beginning stuff. Now let's get into the advanced topics. So as you see, we've already covered the background pretty much right away before getting into the color of the face. Now don't concern yourself with what colors I am mixing to create these effects. Don't worry about that. Look at the color relationships between the background, the light of the hair, the shadow of the hair, and the shadow tones on the face. Notice that the painting is in dual lighting. That is, there is a light source on one side of the face and a light source on the other side of the face. So we have cool notes. We are going to refer to colors as notes. And don't mind the eyes. It's just kind of fun to start painting the eyes this way sometimes. But the shadow side of the face is going to have some blue greenish hues. The right side is going to have some orangey pink hues. All of that is in contrast to the top of the background, which is a grayish blue right now, which will get more saturated later, and the bottom middle, which is kind of a yellowish tone. It goes to the orangey and then gets a little bit more blue towards the bottom. As we build these colors on the painting, you will see that the complexity within the color relationships from one area to another is going to be important to the overall big picture in terms of your light effect. Now let me explain exactly what I mean by this. This is more than just a warm light, cool shadow, cool light, warm shadow kind of scenario. There is an ambient light in the shadow that is adding a cool blue or green, maybe purplish element, and the light has something kind of warm that is either yellow, orangey, or anything kind of in between. So as we continue to develop these values, again, we are going to assume knowledge of values and prima technique. We're focusing our thought process entirely on color development. Now you see we raised the value in the background, but at the same time we raised that blue color, and right away you notice that we added that light yellow, almost like a glowing gold color on the light plane of the nose, and right above that we added that orangey color, orangey pink. That orangey pink has a color in relation to the red in the hair, the light red of the hair. And that has a relation to the red for the lips. Now every shape is being painted in relation to a surrounding shape. Now this is what makes it yet again very advanced, because we're not just focusing on whatever the color is on the photo reference. The drawing, in terms of the big proportions on the reference, is irrelevant. Don't worry about a reference. Think about a Rembrandt painting hundreds of years later. We don't care about the likeness of whoever Rembrandt painted. What we're looking at is the painting or the painterly effects. And color relationships is going to be the strongest thing that you can learn. Now look at the plane that we painted next to the nostril. It's a red, but it's a red that goes closer to the pink. So it gets a little bit more blue relative to those brownish reds and grays near the eyes. Notice how we just punched that orangey hue, and what did we do? We punched that red pink type color, reflected color in the shadow. Please note that we are painting one plane next to its corresponding plane. This is in order to create a symphony of color. Now, this is not something that you would easily notice if you were strictly painting from photographs. This requires a very concentrated study of painting from life. Please paint from life as much as you can. Focus on these color relationships that I'm explaining to you when you are painting from life. Please disregard the photo reference, and if need be, if you're painting from photo reference, please experiment with color shapes relative to one another. Now you see, using the alla prima approach is quite fast, and we just changed the light in the studio just now, but either way, it's a very fast approach to get your values and your colors to work together. As you see here, it would work just fine if this was in black and white. But now you can really see that the painting is starting to glow. Notice that blue element, kind of cool element that's right on the shadow side of the side plane of the nose. That has a direct relationship to the surrounding grayish colors around the corner of the model's right eye. And you see we just painted right underneath of that shape on the cheekbone. That light on the cheekbone also has a color relationship to the colors on the shoulder. And again, what makes this a very advanced topic in oil painting is because oil paint stays wet for several hours, workable for several hours. In this case, it stayed workable for 2 days in a row. It allows you to bounce colors around relative to one another in a unique way that no other material, that is, no other material, allows you to work in. And you can even see the palette is very, well, you could see from the previous camera angle that the palette was still organized in terms of values. And now we're working on these smaller planes. So in the smaller planes, you also want to relate your colors to one another. But in the smaller planes, you don't really need to focus too much on big color relationships. All you need to do is focus on the values and the colors maintaining their relation to the bigger planes. That is, for example, the color of the iris. We want to make sure that that color does not go too pink, too purple, or too red. Basically, we want to keep it in that kind of ultramarine blue type color scheme. Once again, what makes this an advanced topic in oil painting is we are assuming the knowledge of drawing, we are assuming the knowledge of paint handling in the alla prima approach, and we are also assuming the ability to create a finished painting. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you find that you feel that you're still in a beginning stage in oil painting, this is a short enough video for you to be able to watch and rewatch so that you know what you're going to build up towards. I want you to consider looking at the artworks of Nelson Shanks, Daniel Green, Bert Silverman, and even some more modern realist artists like Jeremy Lipking. These are artists that not only can capture a very profound form, but can also use color in such a way that they describe very unique light scenarios. One more thing that I should have mentioned in the beginning, another thing that is assumed is basic color theory. And all you need to know are your complementary colors. And that's it. It's actually quite simple. Just make sure that you don't mix up green and red unintentionally in a portrait. And those are the two colors that are the most common in portraits that end up getting mixed up. But that's pretty much all you need to know for color theory. So it's not too much really that needs to be in your your repertoire of paint techniques. Now, please consider, once again, please consider the fact that a painting is not supposed to be a perfect representation of a photograph. It's much easier sometimes to sell it that way or to market it that way. But consider for a second here that a painting can portray something more profound than a photograph. If a photograph is worth 1,000 words, then a painting can be worth 10 times more because we just have that much more as humans that we can add to the visual experience than something purely mechanical. So, as I say that, when you explore painting different color relationships, and start with still life, if you're still if you still feel like you're struggling to draw portraits or to paint portraits in alla prima, then do this with still life. And if you want help with that, check out my live streams, which are in real time, about 3.5 hours each time. This is a 15-minute short edited version for you to get something out of it. But check out the live streams if you want to know more about these color painting exercises. And by the way, there'll be a link in the description box of the video to a 2-hour long painting session where we started this painting. We were basically filming it for the purpose of this video. So if you want to see some longer footage of it, of the start of the painting, then check the link which is in the description box of the video. But once again, I hope that this helps you out. This is not a very common topic that you'll find on the internet, especially when it comes to portrait painting in oil paints. This is much more advanced, but still, I want this to be something that you have in the back of your mind, something that you're going to build up towards as you continue to develop your skills in, alla prima painting, working with values, shapes, and even just basic color mixing and all of that. This is the advanced stuff that we can work up towards. Even with the eyebrows. that reddish color, reddish brown, is a different kind of reddish brown relative to the hair, as you see with the finished painting. So once again, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, it's short enough that you should be able to watch it a couple times over, and this is a advanced topic that I know that everyone can build up towards. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best in all of your artwork, and I'll see you on the next one.